Playing Song of Iron is a lot like the first time you started dating the hottest girl at work in your early 20s. We've kind of all been there. You finally snag this dazzling masterpiece of a woman and all your buddies are like, "Oh shit, man, hell yeah, you're the man." And everything is like going well and looks cool, and until that one day you're just kind of sitting there with her alone, and you ask, "So crazy about all that Saddam Hussein stuff, right?" And she kind of turns to you with an inquisitive look like, I have no idea. Who the fuck are you talking about? I have zero clue. And then maybe that's the time you wonder, I don't know, maybe good looks aren't the only thing you should be searching for in a counterpart. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, I am drinking some holiday variety pack Trulies, and this is my short but sweet Song of Iron review. When you first boot up this adventurous side-scrolling game, you're met with a stunning visual landscape, a nice little moody tune in the background, and a simple menu layout. It's as simple and appealing as the game is. That's really not a dig. So without spoiling anything, this is a tale of a Viking's journey of revenge and salvation for your people. Immediately, you feel the impact of dazzling visuals as your nameless character stands beside a burning tomb and recalls what happened in flashback fashion. Being a solo developer behind Resting Relic, you can tell that this dude has spent an enormous amount of time just getting the mood and the ambiance and the lighting just right for this game. And to his credit, he nails it absolutely perfectly. As I took control of my character, however, I knew immediately that keyboard and mouse just wasn't for me. In fact, I don't think it should be for anyone. I have never played a side-scroller with a keyboard and mouse because that's like asking for an RC Cola at a restaurant and everyone else ordered fucking Coke. If there's something better, just get that. Don't be weird. So I plugged my Xbox controller in and it's okay. The default controls are a little clunky and the mapping of buttons to certain things is really, really weird. But hey, I think, no problem. I'll just go remap some buttons in the menu. And no. There is no option to let you bind new buttons to your controller. Now, there is an option to bind different keys on your keyboard, but I'm fucking Coke. Okay, so I played with these default controller bindings, and within 20 minutes, I was just like, God, oh my God, why does this feel so awful? Why? So I found out that one of the main things was the left stick press on the pad, which is usually a run button, mind you. It's actually a weird backward leap option, which, I mean, why the hell do I need it there at all? I never use this button except on accident, and every time I was fighting some big bad boss or ogre and I wanted to run away to avoid an attack, and I just pressed that button and leapt back into them joyfully. At least my character was joyful. This happened time and time again. It was nauseatingly frustrating. And this was from start to finish of this 3-hour adventure. And it was just so pretty to look at and so damn frustrating to play. Now I know what you're saying to yourself. Oh, you're mistaken. Just go to this file and open a Word doc and change this and that and yada 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 blah blah blah. Look, I purposely looked up how to change these options. Nowhere did I find an easy solution to this. Maybe it's me. Maybe you can easily switch these with ease and it's just a me problem. Regardless, it was a problem. And that's a whole different story if my version was bugged out to where I couldn't change these options. The reason I am harping on this so much is that this one detail during my entire playthrough, I just kept thinking, God, these visuals are amazing. Fuck, I have to fight these Vikings. That is no way to think about a game when half of the game requires precise mechanics of your controller, period. So, clunky controls in mind, I also found combat to just be so-so with some necessary improvements needed down the road. For starters, the bow and arrow would sometimes feel really gratifying when landing a headshot or multiple arrows into someone for a really satisfying kill. But more often than not, I was shooting arrows way over my enemy's head, shooting them into the ground or the sky because the sensitivity of the controls is way too finicky, or I just felt really fragile because as soon as you go into bow and arrow stance, you are just completely rooted and you can only shoot in the direction that you're facing. Picking up objects off the ground during a fight was also a little weird, but manageable after some getting used to. I noticed a lot of people on the forums were complaining about this one a lot, but truthfully, when most of the weapons are so similar, I didn't feel like I absolutely had to pick up one over the other. It's not like in Valorant or Call of Duty where you really want that upgrade off an enemy that you just killed. It's more like oh, I really just need a weapon because I threw mine over some dude's head. This one won't do. But one thing I never got used to in my 3-hour runtime was the climbing in this game. Holy shit. And you do this so fairly often. So in this game, the first time you go to jump onto a climbable mountainside or ladder, I guarantee that you will 100% of the time fall off on that first attempt. That's because you are required to jump onto that section and hold the button no matter how far up or down that you need to climb. You are basically Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger, and you cannot fuck this up.
Hold on, I got you. You're not gonna die.
It just feels so last gen in a sense. You expect to latch onto something and then free up your finger for other things to do, but no. You have to hold that damn button for dear life or else you plummet to your untimely death and hey, you're back at the loading screen. Now, I feel like I could continue with my gripes about controls in the sense that walking feels useless, so I don't even think it should really be an option here, to navigating puzzles feeling really unrewarding and the like, but I think you ultimately get the gist. It's definitely not the high point of this game. So what is? Now, I noticed a lot of people giving this game shit because it, quote, doesn't have a story, but I don't think that's a fair judgment call for this game whatsoever. As soon as you enter the world of Song of Iron, it's about a mood. From the minimalistic interface to the long cutscenes where your character says absolutely nothing in response to everyone, you can tell this developer is making a visual statement. That comes across in the story as well. It plays like a part 1 of a part 3 part play. I say play instead of like miniseries or TV show because a play has limited main characters and everything in the background is just noise. Luckily for us, it's a beautiful noise in Song of Iron. The runtime, as mentioned before, is a solid 2.5 or 3 hours long, and in that length, the feeling of your character growing with newly obtained powers and aesthetics is definitely a solid feeling. Your powers range from fire and lightning to recalling your thrown weapon with plenty of magic recharge areas around to kind of make you want to use your powers for every chance that you can get. Seriously, as soon as I got the ability to recall a thrown weapon, I was throwing everything in sight like I was fucking Colin Farrell from that early 2000s Daredevil movie. You know, right? Like that one where his name was like, like Killshot or Buckeye or is it bullshit? I don't know. Jesus Christ, that movie was so bad. I'm sorry I brought it up. So, needless to say, it feels really good and chunky and delightful to lodge an axe into someone's head and then beat the dude behind you while recalling said weapon and tossing it again. More focus on this type of combat would be really beneficial in the future for sure. Without spoiling end of the game content, another area that I found fascinating was just the landscape that you traverse through. Every new cave or hillside had some sort of cool relic or toppled landmark that made you just kind of wonder, like, what the hell happened here? And if I continue, where will it lead to? The mystery and wonder really hit some high notes later on, and although it may not really be for everyone, I am absolutely a fan of some fun twists and turns to something that seems so certain at face value. In the end, Song of Iron is not a game I'd recommend for $20 on Steam if I'm just being completely honest. But here's what I do recommend. Wait for a discount. Hell, I know at the time of posting this review, there's a discount right now. At the very least, put this on your wish list. Give this man who took an imaginative idea, ran with it for years in development, a strong fighting chance. I say this because time and time again, we are disappointed by giving our money to these big budget AAA titles that ask for $60 or $70 and they give us pure shit with microtransactions and delays and broken promises all of the time. This solo developer is so passionate about this project that he literally lists all of the ways to get in contact with him on the Song of Iron website. He is constantly replying to questions on Steam and Instagram, and he really shows no sign of letting this game die the way that it is currently. In fact, there was just a patch sent out last week that updated performance issues. So while I have my issues with this indie game in general, unlike my ex-girlfriend, I will be returning in the near future just to see how much growth and change that this little title has made for the better.